Welcome back to Industry RSVP In-Depth. This is Madeline Larocque again, and we are with Ron Marasco again, who wrote Notes to an Actor. And today I want to get to know where you came from, where you started from, and what really led you to writing this book. It's a fabulous book, absolutely wonderful, about acting and tips and just kind of deeper into
I think if
acting.
there's a thing that is probably different about this is you have to have a sort of unusual life to write a book like this, meaning you have to be both somebody that acts a lot but also somebody that is something of a scholar. That sounds too highbrow, but just somebody that is got a lot of time to sort of read
Right.
and read everything you can get your hands on. I'm sure I read every major acting book I could find and distill all of that and think about all of that. I also think having taught helps because you are used to getting really difficult concepts across to, a student that's there at 8 a.m. Not that I've ever taught an 8 a.m. class, but I mean, they're there. They don't really feel like being there. They come in with their breakfast, and you're trying to keep their attention, and you're trying to also sometimes get very profound concepts across. So that helps. You do that over enough years that you kind of get used to being able to cut through the crap and get them to remember something in a way. So you have to have a lot of time to do a lot of reading and thinking. You have to get used to being able to put it in a form and in words that kind of cut through and make people remember it, and maybe sometimes even want to write it down. And then the other thing is you have to keep going out there and trying it yourself. Too many acting teachers don't act.
So
act. I mean get their ass out there, it'd be at an audition, or go through the difficulty that all of these actors go through. There are a lot of acting teachers that don't do it enough, that don't go out there in that rough weather of doing it and experience that. So they get too interested in a certain kind of process and not in the rough and tumble of just getting out there, and it's tough, it.
Yeah, no, it is.
And anybody watching this knows it.
Yeah.
But there are some teachers that can kind of forget that because they get a little cushy and comfy and into their own world and into their own dogma.
So you started with acting, so you know what we're going through before you started writing this book. What style of acting did you most enjoy? Did you enjoy the comedy? Did you enjoy drama? Both? Stage?
Both. I mean, I think actors are very often people that are eclectic. The variety is the thing. I mean, every actor, I think, loves that idea of being able to be in a very maybe highbrow restoration play one day and then do something where in a Sam Shepard play and you're in a dirty set being smacked around. I mean, actors love that. They love being a lot of different things. And so I was always interested in a lot of different styles. But you mentioned comedy. I couldn't find a good acting book on acting comedy. I just couldn't. Even the great book of Uta Hagen's, fantastic, hilarious, she wasn't. The same with Stanislavski. There wasn't anything I could find on acting comedy.
Yeah, I know you've got a chapter on
so
comedy
I did a chapter
in here.
on it, and it's one of the ones I'm really the happiest about, because I think I tried to say, if you read these 20 some odd pages, it'll make a very big difference, I think, because I thought about it for years and years and years. How do you teach this? Everybody says the same thing. What's comedy? Timing. I've never heard anybody explain to me what the hell timing means. What do you mean by timing? How does an actor get better at timing? Can you get better at it? And what is it? So I tried to explain a lot of that in this chapter. And I think that, comedy and any other form of acting are somewhat the same thing. The way I've put it in the book is that comedy is tragedy without dignity. If I am in war and I'm behind and they're shooting at me, it's a tragedy. Well, if instead of them shooting at me, I'm trying to get candy off a conveyor belt on I Love Lucy, it should feel somewhat the same thing. It's just one lacks dignity and the other doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just true. If you it feels the same. It's the same kind of tragedy. but it's without the dignity of tragedy.
So tell me a story that becomes comedy from when you were an actor, whether it was an audition or something you were filming, something that just was hilarious.
But that's tragic
There's-
also? Well, okay, I'll tell you.
Tragedy's
what.
always
I'll tell
funny,
you what.
right?
I saw an audition. And do you know the song, you say neither, and I say neither, you say either, and I say either? Great, that's the song. Well, somebody came out, they must have just gotten the sheet music. And so they didn't quite understand the song. So they sang it this way. You say either, and I say either. You say neither, and I say neither. Either, either, neither, neither. Well, they were a good singer, and they're caring deeply, they're filled with love for whoever they're singing this thing to. But of course, everybody in the room
Just isn't.
knew that they were crashing miserably. And then I think people were laughing at them. So then they kind of got more earnest.
Yeah.
Because people were laughing. They thought, well, got to do more earnest. You say potato, and I say potato. You say so. It was tragic and horrible for them in some ways because I think embarrassment often is. Mm-hmm. But it was also it was pretty undignified. So most of the people there enjoyed it.